Chapters 29 through 35 of the Book of Job, from the Young's Literal Translation of the Bible. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Mark Penfold. Chapters 29 through 35 of Job, from the Young's Literal Translation. Chapter 29. And Job addeth to lift up his simile, and saith, Who doth make me as in months past, as in the days of God's preserving me, in his causing his lamp to shine on my head? By his light I walk through darkness, as I have been in days of my maturity, and the counsel of God upon my tent, when yet the mighty one is with me. Round about me my young ones, when washing my goings with butter, and the firm rock is with me rivulets of oil. When I go out to the gate by the city, in a broad place I prepare my seat. Seen me have youths, and they been hidden, and the aged have risen, they stood up. Princes have kept in words, and a hand they place on their mouth. The voice of leaders hath been hidden, and their tongue to the palate hath cleaved. For the ear heard, and declareth me happy, and the eye hath seen, and testifieth to me. For I deliver the afflicted who is crying, and the fatherless who hath no helper. The blessing of the perishing cometh on me, and the heart of the widow I cause to sing. Righteousness I have put on, and it clotheth me, as a robe and a diadem my justice. Eyes I have been to the blind, and feet to the lame am I. A father I am to the needy, and the cause I have not known I search out. And I break the jaw teeth of the perverse, and from his teeth I cast away prey. And I say, with my nest I expire, and as the sand I multiply days. My root is open unto the waters, and dew doth lodge on my branch. My honor is fresh with me, and my bow in my hand is renewed. To me they have hearkened, yea, they wait, and are silent for my counsel. After my word they change not, and on them doth my speech drop. And they wait as for rain for me, and their mouth they have opened wide as for the latter rain. I laugh unto them, they give no credence, and the light of my face cause not to fall. I choose their way, and sit head, and I dwell as a king in a troop. When mourners he doth comfort. Chapter 30. And now laughed at me have the younger in days than I, whose fathers I have loathed to set with the dogs of my flock. Also the power of their hands, why is it to me? On them hath old age perished. With want and with famine gloomy, those fleeing to a dry place, formerly a desolation and waste. Those cropping mallows near a shrub, and broom roots is their food. From the midst they are cast out. They shout against them as a thief. In a frightful place of valleys to dwell, holes of earth and clefts. Among shrubs they do groan, under nettles they are gathered together. Sons of folly, even sons without name, they have been smitten from the land. And now their song I have been, and I am to them for a byword. They have abominated me, they have kept far from me, and from before me have not spared to spit. Because his cord he loosed and afflicteth me, and the bridle from before me they have cast away. On the right hand doth a brood arise. My feet they have cast away, and they raise up against me their paths of calamity. They have broken down my path, by my calamity they profit. He hath no helper. As a wide breach they come, under the desolation have rolled themselves. He hath turned against me terrors. It pursueth as the wind mine abundance, and as a thick cloud hath my safety passed away. And now in me my soul poureth itself out. Seize me, do days of affliction. At night my bone hath been pierced in me, and mine eyelids do not lie down. By the abundance of power is my clothing changed. As the mouth of my coat it doth gird me, casting me into mire, and I am become like dust and ashes. I cry unto thee, and thou dost not answer me. I have stood, and thou dost consider me. Thou art turned to be fierce to me. With the strength of thy hand thou oppressest me. Thou dost lift me up. On the wind thou dost cause me to ride. And thou meltest, thou levelest me. For I have known to death thou dost bring me back, and to the house appointed for all living. Surely not against the heap doth he send forth the hand, though in its ruin they have safety. Did not I weep for him whose day is hard? Grieved hath my soul for the needy. When good I expected, then cometh evil. And I wait for light, and darkness cometh. My bowels have boiled, and have not ceased. Gone before me have days of affliction. Morning I have gone without the sun. I have risen. In an assembly I cry. A brother I have been to dragons, and a companion to daughters of the ostrich. My skin hath been black upon me, and my bone hath burned from heat, and my heart doth become mourning, and my organ the sound of weeping. Chapter 31. A covenant I made for mine eyes. And what? Do I attend to a virgin? And what is the portion of God from above, and the inheritance of the mighty from the heights? Is not calamity to the perverse, and strangeness to workers of iniquity? Doth not he see my ways, and all my steps number? If I have walked with vanity, and my foot doth hasten to deceit, he doth weigh me in righteous balances, and God doth know my integrity. If my step doth turn aside from the way, and after mine eyes hath my heart gone, and to my hands cleaved hath blemish, let me sow, and another eat, and my products let be rooted out. If my heart hath been enticed by woman, and by the opening of my neighbor I laid wait, grind to another let my wife, and over her let others bend. For it is a wicked thing, and a judicial iniquity. For a fire it is, to destruction it consumeth, and among all mine increase doth take root. If I despise the cause of my manservant and of my handmaid in their contending with me, then what do I do when God ariseth? And when he doth inspect, what do I answer him? Did not he that made me in the womb make him? Yea, prepare us in the womb doth one. If I withhold from pleasure the poor, and the eyes of the widow do consume, and I do eat my morsel by myself, and the orphan hath not eat of it. But from my youth he grew up with me as with a father, and from the belly of my mother I am led. If I see any perishing without clothing, and there is no covering to the needy, if his loins have not blessed me, and from the fleece of my sheep he doth not warm himself, if I have waved at the fatherless my hand, when I see in him the gate of my court, my shoulder from its blade let fall, and mine arm from the bone be broken. For a dread unto me is calamity from God, and because of his excellency I am not able. If I have made gold my confidence, and to the pure gold have said, my trust; if I rejoice because great is my wealth, and because abundance hath my hand found; if I see the light when it shineth, and the precious moon walking, and my heart is enticed in secret, and my hand doth kiss my mouth, it also is a judicial iniquity, for I had lied to God above. If I rejoice at the ruin of my hater, and stirred up myself when evil found him, yea, I have not suffered my mouth to sin, to ask with an oath his life. If not, say ye, O men of my tent, oh, that we had of his flesh, we are not satisfied. In the street doth not lodge a stranger. My doors to the traveler I open. If I have covered as Adam my transgressions, to hide in my bosom mine iniquity, because I fear a great multitude, and the contempt of families doth affright me, then I am silent, I go not out of the opening. Who giveth to me a hearing? Lo, my mark! The mighty one doth answer me, and a bill hath mine adversary written. If not, On my shoulder I take it up, I bind it a crown on myself. The number of my steps I tell him, as a leader I approach him. If against me my land doth cry out, and together its furrows weep, if its strength I consumed without money, and the life of its possessors I have caused to breathe out, instead of wheat let a thorn go forth, and instead of barley a useless weed. The words of Job are finished. Chapter 32. And these three men cease from answering Job, for he is righteous in his own eyes. And burn doth the anger of Elihu, son of Barachel the Buzite, of the family of Ram. Against Job hath his anger burned, because of his justifying himself more than God. And against his three friends hath his anger burned, because that they have not found an answer, and condemn Job. And Elihu hath waited earnestly beside Job with words, for they are older than he in days. And Elihu seeth that there is no answer in the mouth of the three men, and his anger burneth. And Elihu son of Barachel the Buzite answereth, and saith, Young I am in days, and ye are aged, therefore I have feared, and am afraid of showing you my opinion. I said, Days do speak, and multitude of years teach wisdom. Surely a spirit is in man, and the breath of the Mighty One doth cause them to understand. The multitude are not wise, nor do the aged understand judgment. Therefore I have said, Hearken to me, I do show my opinion, even I. Lo, I have waited for your words. I give ear unto your reasons, till ye search out sayings. And unto you I attend. And lo, there is no reasoner for Job, or answerer of his sayings among you. Lest ye say, We have found wisdom. God doth thrust him away, not man. And he hath not set in array words for me, and with your sayings I do not answer him. They have broken down, they have not answered again. They removed from themselves words. And I have waited, but they do not speak. For they have stood still, they have not answered any more. I answer, even I, my share, I shew my opinion, even I. For I have been full of words, distressed me hath the spirit of my breast. Lo, my breast is as wine not opened, like new bottles it is broken up. I speak, and there is refreshment to me. I open my lips and answer. Let me not, I pray you, accept the face of any, nor unto man give flattering titles. For I have not known to give flattering titles. In a little doth my Maker take me away. Chapter 33. And yet I pray thee, O Job, hear my speech, and to all my words give ear. Lo, I pray thee, I have opened my mouth, my tongue hath spoken in the palate. Of the uprightness of my heart are my sayings, and knowledge have my lips clearly spoken. The Spirit of God hath made me, and the breath of the Mighty doth quicken me. If thou art able, answer me. Set an array before me. Station thyself. Lo, I am according to thy word, for God, from the clay I also have been formed. Lo, my terror doth not frighten thee, and my burden on thee is not heavy. Surely thou hast said in mine ears, and the sounds of words I hear. Pure am I, without transgression, innocent am I, and I have no iniquity. Lo, occasions against me he doth find, he doth reckon me for an enemy to him. He doth put in the stocks my feet, he doth watch all my paths. Lo, in this thou hast not been righteous. I answer thee that greater is God than man. Wherefore against him hast thou striven, when for all his matters he answereth not? For once doth God speak, and twice he doth not behold it. In a dream, a vision of night, in the falling of deep sleep on men, in slumberings on a bed. Then he uncovereth the ear of men, and for their instruction sealeth. To turn aside man from doing, and pride from man he concealeth. He keepeth back his soul from corruption, and his life from passing away by a dart. And he hath been reproved with pain on his bed, and the strife of his bones is enduring. And his life hath nauseated bread, and his soul desirable food. His flesh is consumed from being seen, and higher his bones, they were not seen. And draw near to the pit doth his soul, and his life to those causing death. If there is by him a messenger, an interpreter, one of 1,000, to declare for man his uprightness, then he doth favor him, and saith, Ransom him from going down to the pit. I have found an atonement. Fresher is his flesh than a child's. He returneth to the days of his youth. He maketh supplication unto God, and he accepteth him. And he seeth his face with shouting, and he returneth to man his righteousness. He looketh on men, and saith, I sinned, and uprightness I have perverted, and it hath not been profitable to me. He hath ransomed my soul from going over into the pit, and my life on the light looketh. Lo, all these doth God work, twice, thrice with man, to bring back his soul from the pit, to be enlightened with the light of the living. Attend, O Job, hearken to me. Keep silent, and I do speak. If there are words, answer me. Speak, for I have a desire to justify thee. If there are not, hearken thou to me. Keep silent, and I teach thee wisdom. Chapter 34. And Elihu answereth and saith, Hear, O wise men, my words, and O knowing ones, give ear to me. For the ear doth try words, and the palate tasteth to eat. Judgment let us choose for ourselves. Let us know among ourselves what is good. For Job hath said, I have been righteous, and God hath turned aside my right. Against my right do I lie? Mortal is mine arrow without transgression. Who is a man like Job? He drinketh scoffing like water, and he hath travelled for company with workers of iniquity, so as to go with men of wickedness. For he hath said, It doth not profit a man when he delighteth himself with God. Therefore, O men of heart, hearken to me. Far be it from God to do wickedness, and from the mighty to do perverseness. For the work of man he repayeth to him, and according to the path of each he doth cause him to find. Yea, truly, God doth not do wickedly, and the mighty doth not pervert judgment. Who hath inspected for himself the earth, and who hath placed all the habitable world? If he doth set on him his heart, his spirit and his breath unto him he gathereth. Expire doth all flesh together, and man to dust returneth. And if there is understanding, hear this, give ear to the voice of my words. Yea, doth one hating justice govern, or the most just dost thou condemn? Who hath said to a king, Worthless, unto princes, Wicked? That hath not accepted the person of princes, nor hath known the rich before the poor, for a work of his hands are all of them. In a moment they die, and at midnight shake do people, and they pass away, and they remove the mighty without hand. For his eyes are on the ways of each, and all his steps he doth see. There is no darkness nor death shade, for workers of iniquity to be hidden there. For he doth not suffer man any more to go unto God in judgment. He breaketh the mighty, no searching, and he appointeth others in their stead. Therefore he knoweth their works, and he hath overturned by night, and they are bruised. As wicked he hath stricken them in the place of beholders, because that against right they have turned aside from after him, and none of his ways have considered wisely. To cause to come in unto him the cry of the poor, and the cry of the afflicted he heareth. And he giveth rest, and who maketh wrong? And hideth the face, and who beholdeth it? And in reference to a nation and to a man, it is the same. From the reigning of a profane man, from the snares of a people. For unto God hath any said, I have taken away, I do not corruptly, besides that which I see. Shew thou me, if iniquity I have done, I do not add. By thee doth he recompense, that thou hast refused, that thou dost choose, and not I? And what thou hast known, speak. Let men of heart say to me, and a wise man is hearkening to me. Job, not with knowledge doth he speak, and his words are not with wisdom. My father, let Job be tried unto victory, because of answers for men of iniquity. For he doth add to his sin transgression among us, he vomiteth, and multiplieth his sayings to God. Chapter 35. And Elihu answereth and saith, This hast thou reckoned for judgment. Thou hast said, My righteousness is more than God's. For thou sayest, What doth it profit thee? What do I profit from my sin? I return thee words, and thy friends with thee. Behold attentively the heavens, and see, and behold the clouds, they have been higher than thou. If thou hast sinned, what dost thou against him? And thy transgressions have been multiplied, what dost thou to him? If thou hast been righteous, what dost thou give to him? Or what from thy hand doth he receive? For a man like thyself is thy wickedness, and for a son of man thy righteousness. Because of the multitude of oppressions they cause to cry out. They cry because of the arm of the mighty. And none said, Where is God my maker? Giving songs in the night, teaching us more than the beasts of the earth, yea, than the fowl of the heavens he maketh us wiser. There they cry, and he doth not answer, because of the pride of evildoers. Surely vanity God doth not hear, and the mighty doth not behold it. Yea, though thou sayest thou dost not behold him, judgment is before him, and stay for him. And now, because there is not, He hath appointed his anger, and he hath not known in great extremity. And Job with vanity doth open his mouth; without knowledge words he multiplieth. The end of chapters 29 through 35 of the Book of Job, from the Young's Literal Translation of the Bible. Recording by Mark Penfold.